Now, we begin. And indeed, once again, greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. We would come forth to abide with you this day, to speak yet again of a simple subject, to speak yet again of the essence of all that you seek, to speak yet again of the essence of all that you are, to speak yet again with great devotion, with unceasing praise, as we share with you, as we share one to another, that which alone can set God's child free, that which alone enlightens the mind, purifies the heart, and brings about the serenity of the soul. The serenity of the soul. What then could such a subject be? What theme could all of these words point to? Indeed, beloved friend, what does the morning sunrise point to? What does the sound of a child's laughter point to? Indeed, beloved friends, what does the very breath you breathe point to? What do all things of creation point to? For I have said unto you before that there is nothing you can create that does not express your longing to awaken. And therefore, all doing of the body-mind is but the attempt of the soul to break free of all limitation and to once again rest, recline in that perfect peace which is the certain knowledge that only love is real. The yogi in his cave but expresses the longing of that one's soul to recline in God. The lovers, entwined, express only the longing of the soul to taste, to touch the reality of love. And love is but God, for God is but love. All things, then, reflect to you through the sensory apparatus of the body-mind the longing of all creation to know with perfect certainty the living presence of that one whom I have called Abba. Love, then, love is the subject of this month's sharing. For in the way of knowing, it must come to pass that the mind is converted from fear to love, from doubt to perfect faith. And perfect faith is not that beginning and intermediate stage in which one is choosing to have faith in things unseen in the hope that they might materialize. For perfect faith casts out all fear. Faith, then, when purified, when matured, when totally realized, is the same as complete forgiveness, the return to peace, and the knowledge that only love is real. Love, beloved friends, is the essence of all that you are. Love is the essence of all that dances as a temporary reflection before the eyes of your very body-mind. There is nothing you can look upon whose essence is not love. There is nothing you can experience whose essence is not love. The only question then is, are you willing to make the journey from fear to love as you look upon anything, as you experience any emotion? For there can be nothing that obstructs from you the light and presence of your Creator. And to see, to perceive the real world of love is to know with perfect certainty that you and your Father are one. When you remember only your loving thoughts, love is all that you will see. To remember only your loving thoughts does not just mean that as you look upon what you have been taught to call the past, yet rest assured, if you're having a memory now, you're having a very present experience. It's absolutely impossible to think about the past, for thinking occurs now. And you will look upon the past as you choose to be in the present. Choose to be as the presence of love, and there is not one event that you have ever experienced as a soul that is not immediately translated into perfect harmlessness, into the perfect realization that only a dream has occurred. For love looks upon all things and sees that there is no substance to them except the love out of which those involved in that situation were longing to find a way to know the reality of themselves. Listen carefully here. There is nothing you can experience that is anything but the soul's longing to be the perfection of what it is, love. Your tall skyscrapers, your busy freeways, your armies, everything is an expression of the longing of the soul, that spark of divinity that rests in all created things, to know love. Has it become distorted? Oh yes. To think that one can awaken to love, to know love, to have love by building weapons of destruction must be wholly insane. But the longing from which it arises is absolutely no different than the pacifist who would place a flower in the barrel of a rifle. It is no different than the mother who picks up and suckles her newborn son. The longing is one and the same. This is why I've said often to you that what is love is fear and nothing else. Fear is merely the contraction that has occurred in the soul itself that has lost temporarily the sanity of knowing that it need not seek for love, it need only open and be love. For the attempt to seek love only reveals that sanity is not ruling the domain and the dominion of your heart and soul and mind. Any attempt to get is insane. Likewise, any attempt to refrain from receiving or giving is also insane. Getting and receiving are not the same. Giving to get is not true giving. Giving and receiving are one. For in each case, the heart must open, the defenses must be laid aside, and the soul becomes wholly vulnerable. And yet, in the perfect paradox of the spiritual journey, when vulnerability is fully allowed through mastery of the keys to the kingdom, desire, intention, allowance, surrender. When this indeed is accomplished, love is known. For in perfect vulnerability, the soul remembers its perfect invulnerability, and the world can do nothing to that one who only loves. Oh, indeed, beloved friends, the beauty of every flower, the song of every bird that sings, these things are given to you, the Holy Son of God. The sparkling waters, the vast expanse of the desert, these things are given to you. There is no creation that has within it the capacity that you as a human being possess. Not even your whales and dolphins can truly experience and realize the presence and the mystery of the Creator. They flow in perfect innocence, in creativity, in the Creator's love, but their capacity to reflect and to know and to embody consciously that which love is not the same. And those that would perceive that seeking out a whale or a dolphin or a wolf or a bear or a crow or what have you are yet caught up in projecting onto another form of creation that which must be embraced in and for oneself. For the body is the temple of the living Spirit when it is seen through eyes that have awakened. Where you are is where heaven is fully available. That which you are is the love of God made manifest. And when you remember only your loving thoughts, that means that in the very present moment, you are remembering, you are bringing the facets of yourself back into the wholeness of the realization that only love is real. Yes, my dog just died. Yes, my husband just left me. These are just the external forms bouncing about in the field of change. But the essence has not left me, for I am free to love. I am free to make the energetic transition from one set of circumstances into the present moment. I am free in each moment not to abide in fear, not to abide in that great fear that I can't possibly survive because my teddy bear has been stolen. And what are husbands and mates and careers and cars and money in the bank, if not the attempt of the little child within you to have and hold on to the teddy bear that you think can comfort you? Yet the Christ within you can love. In each moment, then, that you seem to be confronted with the challenge that brings up within you your deepest fears of security, your deepest fears of managing the estate, the domain that you call your life, these things come not by accident, and they must come without ceasing in a world of unceasing change. For all that you would look upon and say that you love, as you look upon it and perceive it as a temporary form of creation, it is already dying and dead to you. There can be no peace in the world, but you can be the embodiment of peace when you look beyond all form and perceive the essence of all things as the longing for love, the longing to remember. And when your spouse leaves you, no matter what they say, they are leaving you because they long for love. Does this mean that you failed them? Absolutely not, for that would mean that they are a victim of you. But you have heard me say unto you many times, there is no cause save that which arises within the field of the sovereignty of each soul. Love is always present, and there is no reason for staying or going. There is only reason to awaken to the voice for love and to allow it to move you. So in the world, peace cannot be found, for in the world there is only the deep belief that love is absent and must be sought, pursued, and gotten, extracted from the forms of creation, whether it be career, flower, ocean, desert, lover, mate, money. The forms of the world contain no reality. By that I mean that when you look at someone or something and the energy of wanting to possess or extract runs you, you are already in insanity. Insanity is wholly illusory, which means any attempt to live from that energy can only fail. And yet, the very same moment, the world awaits you in perfect transparency. Nothing can obstruct you. In the busiest of your malls, in the most horrendous traffic jam, there is nothing that is preventing you from choosing to remember only your loving thoughts. To look upon a brother or a sister and to see their perfect innocence, to see their unchanging essence, while allowing them complete freedom to journey as they must until they elect to remember that essence within themselves, until they have chosen to learn to be the stillness of God's presence. Stillness is not opposed to activity or movement. Rather, it pervades the very body-mind. There is a stillness in the awakened that is ever attractive. And yet the awakened are ceaselessly involved. Why? Because they no longer resist the flow of this dream world, including the body-mind. They have reversed the thought structure of the world within themselves. The body-mind is no longer compelled by fear. Unobstructed, it serves but one purpose: the extension of love. Can you extend love by restraining the energy of the body? No. Can you extend love by holding on to rigid thoughts and beliefs about how relationship should be? No. The only way, then, to remember love, the only way to rest in the certainty of the way of knowing, is to come to the realization that what is not love is fear, and only fear. In any moment of experience, regardless of what is occurring, where love is not present within you as a known commodity, you are in fear. We do not speak here of the emotion or the wave of energy that might be passing through the body when you walk around a corner on a trail to behold a very angry mother, what you call the grizzly bear, who will indeed protect her cubs by having you for breakfast. Those are just emotions passing through the body-mind, part of the system that would help you to flee or to stay. Do not make the mistake of perceiving that as fear. It is just a biochemical, electrical impulse programmed into the body-mind. For even the wise and enlightened will pay attention to that. And yet the wise and enlightened will look quickly and see, perhaps this is my time. Go ahead, bear, eat me. Go ahead, crucify me. Or perhaps that very same enlightened one will say, take me from the city, the crowds are too great. We must flee across the lake, for they would press upon me and eat me up if they can. It is not time. This is not the place. Peace, then, is not a passivity. Peace, the very state of love, is a state in which no experience is obstructed within you. Do not make the mistake, as so many do, of thinking that experience has something to do with what is outside of the very body-mind. Remember, nothing is caused by a single event occurring beyond the boundary of the body-mind. If two human beings come together, they may not know why, but for some reason their heart is open, they're walking around with a neon sign that says, I just want to love and be loved. That's the only reality. I'm a little tired of putting up a wall of resistance. They walk around the corner, oh my goodness, the sparks fly. Oh, love, love, this is it. It's like what you call the Coke. It's the real thing. This is it. Oh my God. Oh, how could this be? Oh, this must be a gift from God. Nonsense. It's a gift from yourself. You are the one who chose in the depth of your being to finally become sane enough to allow the context for the experience of love sharing to be called to you. And guess what? It's occurring in your lover for the very same reason. It is just that two souls have sent out the call and have come together in a field of space-time within the body-mind for a moment in which each has said yes to the possibility of remembering the purity of love. Love does not condemn, and love does not judge. And what is not love is fear and nothing else. Therefore, remember always, precious friends, that no act of love should ever be judged, for each act of love is to be cherished. Each moment of love's presence and reality, each moment in which a soul, 2 souls, 3 souls, 10 souls, a country of souls, a universe of souls, it doesn't matter, where the choice is made to drop the defenses, to open and gesture as the presence of love, that act is to be cherished, for it is rare in the world. Those that would seek to possess a mate, to create an exclusivity, are truly only expressing some subtle level of fear. For love denies not to anyone the perfect freedom that is the sovereignty and right of every soul. For you cannot know love until you have set all beings free. You cannot know your Creator until you love as your Creator loves. And there is no one who is listening to these words, there is no one who has ever chosen to listen to this attempt to communicate through a body-mind, through collaboration, through creative joining, that which reflects the wisdom of reality. There's no one who has ever listened to these words that does not long to know love completely, to come home again. To come home means to know love, and to know love means that you can no longer tell where you end and the Creator begins. Such a one merely loves. Such a one rests in the perfect certainty of love so deeply that the thought of restricting another's freedom cannot arise. Why would it? If your cup is truly overflowing, would you require another to place their half-filled glass before you, demanding that you need to possess their glass? Love allows all things. Love embraces all things. Love trusts all things, and thereby immediately transcends all things. If you would then know love in this, the year of the way of knowing, spend the next 30 days in which in each day without fail, remember, 'tis wise to use time constructively. Spend some time each day in which you abide with yourself and a piece of paper and a pencil and truly look back over your past honestly. Where did you refuse to give total freedom to the ever-changing expressions of creation? Have you ever judged a politician? In that very moment, you were refusing to extend perfect freedom. For judgment flows from fear and not from love. Were you ever in a relationship in which some part of you felt at least a little urge to try to convince the other that they don't really love that person they met in the supermarket, they really love just you? Have you ever even politely, for a moment, insinuated to another that their passion for anyone but you might be some sort of biological abnormality, or certainly they're being insane and they need to sit down and do some serious thinking? All of that is fear and nothing else. For love is satiated in its own being. Love overflows, and the thought of possessing, controlling, or limiting can come only from one who feels emptiness. Love sets all things free. Love sets the world free to be as the world is. Love sees perfect harmlessness. Love sees that because things are as they are as they are. Think well about that statement. Because things are as they are, the mind in perfect freedom lets them be as they are and sees them as utterly harmless. Love sees then that the world that is shown to you through the body-mind, this world of buildings, this world of automobiles and pollution and pristine beaches and desert expanses and towering trees and lakes and ponds, this world of torment in the mother whose child has just died, this world of torment in the heart of a child who has just buried their parent, this world of torment, this world of peace, this world that contains all possible expressions of consciousness, this world is perfectly harmless. This world that you experience in this now moment cannot add anything to you, and it can take nothing away. This now moment, beloved friends, where are you? Are you in love in this moment? Did you just lose your job, and you think the problem that is disturbing your peace is that you have no job? That's not it. What's disturbing your peace is that the loss of job has flushed up for you your deep identity with and as the body. You think the body must survive and continue, and darn it, it has to do it in the same level of material comfort that I knew yesterday. Can you understand that when your love is so complete, it no longer matters if the body-mind exists tomorrow? For where would you go? You are but the field of love itself. Your essence is unchanging forever. You are pure spirit. If you've just lost your job, sit down and breathe and open the heart and decide to love your employer unto the death of your illusion. Then open and receive all that is around you, the singing of the bird, the first rays of a new day's dawn, the grasses beneath your feet, the field of infinite possibilities that has been thrown wide open for you. For that which passes away in your experience cannot do so by accident. it can only be occurring through the complicity or the agreement of the world around you with the world or the soul within you. Nothing arises by accident. If you come home to discover that your child has died sleeping in her crib, feel indeed your feelings with great curiosity. Oh, this is how a human being feels when they perceive that loss has occurred. I will bring love to this moment and feel this as deeply as I can because I want to embrace it with reality. Then look with gentleness upon that tiny form of lifelessness and know that the soul who animated it for a brief moment has gone nowhere, except into the furtherance of their destiny and yours, always by perfect agreement. Not the kind of an agreement in which a child says, yes, Mom, yes, Dad, whatever you say, but the agreement of the perfect sovereignty of two unlimited souls. You have heard me say before that the spiritual path cannot begin until a mind accepts complete responsibility for the entire field of its experience. This must include the comings and goings of all beings. I called them in, I called to them and asked them to leave me. I wonder why I did that. Oh God, here's this feeling again. I'm all alone. I've been abandoned. That's why they've had to leave me. For I must heal this ridiculous belief that I have been abandoned. I must overcome all separation. I must awaken beyond the dream of the dreamer. Nothing you create can arise by accident, and nothing you experience but calls you to the field of unchanging and perfect love that transcends, supersedes, and underlies all that arises and passes away. Love, indeed, beloved friends, for we are coming down to the conclusion of this way of knowing. The way of knowing must be the completion of the decision to teach only love. And the only way to teach love is to be love under all circumstances. This does not mean that you paint a plastic smile on your face and never feel any emotion. That is not enlightenment. That is the height of the ego's attempt to usurp power from God. For the spiritual ego, the spiritual personality, is indeed the last egg to be cracked. For only that one is awakened who allows all things, trusts all things, embraces all things, which is the same as to say, feels all things. For in that very moment, the very thing arising is transcended because it is not obstructed or resisted. And what is not obstructed or resisted is indeed embraced, consumed in the spaciousness of love. You have within yourself, then, all power under heaven and earth to translate the body itself from a contraction of fear to a spaciousness that reflects the reality of God's love. For the very body-mind that emerged first from fear can be reopened so that the energy of truth flows through it, so that nothing arising in your experience in the emotional field, and quite frankly, the emotional field is the only place you can experience anything. The rest of it are merely thoughts about things. And the gap between a thought about things and the feeling nature of experiencing things is exactly the same gap that exists between heaven and illusion. It is for this reason that no idea of God is the same as God. No concept about love is the same as love. No philosophy about enlightenment is the same as enlightenment. Unobstructed feeling embrace of all that arises and passes away. Unobstructed means without judgment. Even that which arises as fear or anger should never be judged or obstructed. That which arises as sadness or joy, that which arises as the passion of the body, all things must be open to and embraced, or the beingness of your soul has not yet transcended the world. Love, then, is the ability to be wholly present with what is, devouring it like a child devours candy. Give me another bite, for this dream cannot contain me. Therefore, bring it on. And so indeed, beloved friends, if you would truly use this year of the way of knowing as the year in which you awaken into the decision to be the presence of love and nothing else before this year ends, so that you can move into the rest of your experience as the enlightened Christ that you already are. Look well then, in each of the next 30 days, where in my life have I refrained from love? Where have I chosen behavioral patterns and decisions and choices with a smile on my face, while all the time attempting to control and manipulate the world in order to keep me safe from feeling and facing my own insecurities? Where have I demanded that the world show up in a certain way so that I can pretend to have peace, where I can pretend to be happy and loving? For anyone can be happy and loving in a candy store. Anyone can be happy standing in front of a crowd and everyone's applauding you. Anyone can be happy being held by 20 friends who say they love you. But only the enlightened can be happy when those 20 friends have chosen to crucify you. Therefore, indeed, it is in your darkest moments, it is in the crumbling of the structures you have made, where you are best given the opportunity to realize the great power within you to teach only love. And yet the ego would convince you that to know love you must set up your world so that you never experience the challenges and the insecurities of abandonment aloneness, not knowingness. Where is my next meal coming from? The attempt to create material security flows only from the egoic mind, for the enlightened mind is in complete abundance always. When I walked this world as a man and was taught by the Essenes, I and my brothers and sisters learned to practice a way of life that, by the way, has been also known in other cultures, in what you call their ancient India, in which a conscious decision was made to give up all materiality and to walk literally naked in the world, owning nothing, possessing nothing, facing the stark reality of the body's perfect vulnerability, relying on the expressions of grace and love through others, walking around with a begging bowl and simply saying, "The body-mind is hungry. Would you be so kind as to fill my bowl?" Receiving the yes or no with the very same appreciation. Many of you listening to this tape have no idea what it means to be hungry. You think hunger is that temporary gnaw that occurs because you haven't gone to your refrigerator in the last few hours. Go and abide in the forest with nothing to eat. Take nothing with you, but perhaps some water, and abide alone, open to the elements for 3 days and 3 nights. Then you will know something of what it means to be an Essene. To be one who goes without any attempt to protect the body-mind from the deepest fears of its own demise. Once a rich man came unto me and asked me to teach him, and I simply replied, "Go and sell all that you have and follow me." He didn't want God that much. And again, of course, as I've said unto you many times, it doesn't mean you must go and give away your material wealth that you have in your world. It does mean you must give away your attachment to it. You must see that it is merely an illusion, that it cannot provide to you the safety that you truly seek. For safety can come only in reclining into the heart of God. The body-mind is not even mine. The mate is not mine. The career is not mine. The bank accounts are not mine. These things of the world cannot keep my soul safe. They cannot awaken me. Only my decision to surrender the world, to transcend the world, to abide as empty in the world. Only my decision to teach only love can awaken me to the invulnerability beyond the vulnerability of all created things, even this very body-mind that I once mistakenly identified with as my self. The truly awakened come and go as the wind. You know not from whence they have come, and you know not where they are going. For they don't even know these things. How can you? But they listen to the voice of Spirit, and Spirit is like the whisper of the winds. Come, go, touch, speak, refrain, leave, abstain, embrace. eat, fast, pray, dance. The one who abides in unobstructed feeling nature flows with that which comes from the depth of a perfectly still heart and mind, and dances while knowing stillness. For the body-mind that others see is no longer inhabited by the contraction of the ego. The enlightened cannot be understood. They can only be appreciated by the enlightened. Who then will you choose to be this day, beloved friends? One who walks in the ordinary world, or one who walks in heaven, side by side with their Creator? Will you walk this day in the world as one who has everything figured out, or will you walk as one who in perfect innocence merely loves and laughs and chuckles within at the great illusion of the drama of this world? For this world arises and passes away in the twinkling of an eye. It is merely like dots on a screen that have created a temporary movie. Once the movie plays out, the screen remains as it has always been until the next movie comes to town. Your consciousness is like that screen. It witnesses that which arises and passes away, even within the body-mind itself. Identify with that pure screen, the pure witness, the spaciousness that is wider than all universes. Notice that part of you that is simply aware of what is arising. A feeling, a thought, a word, a song heard, a car crash witnessed. Doesn't matter. Anything arising in the field of your experience arises in the field of the spaciousness of awareness, which is God's gift to you as your very existence. For pure spirit is awareness itself. And that awareness can be fueled by the decision for love or the belief in fear. And so indeed, beloved friends, the message of this hour is again quite simple. But if you have truly chosen to enact this year as the way of knowing, do not waste time. Look well over the next 30 days deeply at the truth of what's been running you. What are the patterns that created the choices, the reactions, the responses, the rationalizations, the great words, the great seeking, the great striving, all of it? Look well and perceive and know that which was birthed from fear, no matter what it looked like, for indeed the wolf can come in sheep's clothing. And where have you been a ravenous wolf, coming in sheep's clothing with false smiles in order to get another to give you what you believe you lack? Where have you refrained from love? Where have you refused to become perfectly vulnerable? For it is only on the other side of that decision that your perfect invulnerability arises. You are love and nothing else. In any moment that you behave, speak, or perceive yourself to be other than love, you have used the power of your awareness to decide for that which would attempt to stand against the kingdom of God. And you are the one that has suffered for it. Love indeed, beloved friends. So many of you that have heard my words through this, my beloved brother, look upon me with such great love. You look upon me and go, oh, Jeshua, he just loves so perfectly. Well, of course I do, because I've come to see that there isn't anything else worth doing. I know that that sounds almost simplified, but the truth is simple. You must come in your own Christed nature to see that in perfect innocence, there isn't anything else to do but love. To love without limits, to love without fear, to love by extending perfect freedom to all of creation to be and do what it wants to be and do. Then and only then can you know that nothing can betray you, nothing can hurt you, nothing can bring anything to you or take anything away. You have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. And in that decision, you know your Creator and can say quite simply with me, behold, I and my Father are one and the same. Now let me give you a hug. Now let me set you free to have your experience. Now let me watch this great movie. Now let me enjoy my salad. It is all so very simple. Never identify yourself with your doing, but let your doing be infused by your being. For while you are in the world, the body-mind will do. Its very nature is action and activity itself. Just like it is the nature of a leaf in autumn to fall from a tree to the ground. Would you say, oh, well, that shouldn't have happened. The leaf shouldn't have had to die. It shouldn't have had to change colors. Oh, what's wrong with this universe? You are like a leaf on the tree, and you are already falling to the moment of your death. How much more time will you waste before you decide to break through the chains of fear, held in the very tissues of the body-mind? How much longer will you wait to enjoy the dance of the fall from the branch of birth to the ground of death of the body-mind, in order to experience the total freedom of the fall? And here indeed, beloved friends, we come full circle, for the great fall from grace, the great dream of separation must finally be embraced and lived with perfect love, obstructing nothing, knowing that the very momentary experience of the body-mind in a perfectly insane world is okay, because it is illusion. To resist illusion is to insist that the illusion is real. It is only in the full embrace of an illusion that the illusion dissolves before your eyes. Love sets all things free again. Over the next 30 days, do only this. Dedicate and commit each moment of each day to teaching only love. Take upon yourself the commitment to discipline the mind and the heart while opening the body without obstruction in each moment set all beings free by being only committed to love. See how much joy you can experience by being the lover of all life. Want nothing from no one. Need nothing from anyone. Express your passion, express your longing. Look upon the falling leaves, if they're happening in your neighborhood. Wherever you are, look upon all things and decide to love the hell out of it. For the hell in it is only what you have projected upon it. Take back your projection and embrace it with love. For 30 days, you can do it. For 30 days, such a small time frame in one human life, would you not give yourself permission for 30 days? A 3 and a 0. This is not a difficult assignment. Anyone with any degree of intelligence and maturity can surely decide each morning for one day to teach only love and string 30 of them together. If it is in truth the transformation of your soul that you seek, so that only Christ is present where you are, complete this one assignment. And when it's done, simply do it again, and again, and again, worlds without end. Heaven awaits you. Love waits on your welcome. And yet that welcome is but the decision to finally embrace yourself and to live the truth that has already set you free. Love and give all things complete freedom to be and to do as they will. For there is no other doorway to the perfect freedom that you have sought for, oh, such a long, long time. Let time end that eternity might be remembered, and only love can set you free. And indeed with that, beloved friends, peace be unto you always, for indeed it is dripping through the ethers of your very atmosphere, waiting for you to drink it in. Peace be with you always. Amen.